It's Jennifer here from Belladonna's Botanicals. And today I want to talk about the importance of continuing your magical education. And this topic came up in response to a somewhat nasty comment that was left on a colleague's channel, questioning their legitimacy as an advanced practitioner if they're still taking magical related coursework. Um, which to me just speaks of like someone either being an egoistic troll or just completely not getting it. But this is what I want to talk about. Like, you are never going to know you will never know everything. If you do, love to chat. There are a lot of magical systems out there, and even more spirits and divine intelligences. I'm fairly well advanced, but there are areas in which I'm not. I am not well. I mean, I know enough, but I'm not well versed in Enochian magic or the Qliphoth and Kabbalah. I don't particularly practice the grimoire traditions, but I'm familiar with them. Um, enough to know that if you're working the Goetia by the Goetia, you're basically working in a Christian magical system, but calling it, I don't know. I always find that a little confusing. It's a little hard to wrap my neurospicy brain around. But just because I just keep learning things. I don't understand why people don't. Like, the thing to me, I've run into other people that say that like they don't read anything by other occult authors and stuff like that. And I'm just like, why? It's that to me just doesn't make sense. I mean, I love learning. On average, and as busy as I am, I read about 50 books, if not more, a year. Um, and they could be on anything. A lot of them are magic related, some of them aren't. Some of them are more self-help related. This past year, I've done a lot of, you know, went back through reading a lot of poetry. So, um, and I love reading can take on any form, whether you're talking about physical books, ebooks, audiobooks, etc. I also watch a lot of different creator channels because I like to learn new perspectives. I can read an entire book, and if I get like one nugget of wisdom out of there that's applicable, it's worth it to me. Not everyone learns the same way. I am ADHD and autistic, so I have different approaches to learning. And sometimes for me, that's repetition. Like, I may read the same book over, a few times just to make sure I'm getting everything. Or I revisit things. Like, one of the first books I read about 30 years ago, the first books I read when I first started getting really into witchcraft practices was Starhawk's The Spiral Dance, the rebirth of the ancient religion of the great goddess. So I read this 30 years ago. I couldn't tell you a single thing about this book. I read it as part of a course I took on one of the first courses I took on witchcraft, but I'm going to reread it because 30 years later, I just kind of like to see what from this may have woven its way into my practice without me even really realizing it all these years later. So, um, I may have read a book in 2020 and then, I may revisit it, this year, next year, whenever, just because I like to learn things and I want to make sure that, my perspectives change and over time we keep learning and learning. And, not for nothing, I've taken numerous certifications and courses and will continue to do so. Doesn't make me any less of an advanced practitioner. Now, a lot of the courses I take are more technical skills based, like, studying poison path things or herbalism or aromatherapy or perfuming, things like that. But, I may also, go back and, take some certifications on different healing modalities. There's, I'm a Usui Reiki master, but there's like 50 other types of Reiki out there. I may get certified in another type, may invent my own type of Reiki, but that's how we learn and grow. And I can't imagine just going, well, I know everything I need to know and I'm not learning anything new. That's just weird. And sometimes I just take things of, random topics of interest, because I like to learn stuff and I incorporate everything I learn into my practice, or even not just my I'm doing a witchcraft practice, but just who I am as a person and integrating all these different things into how I create my products, how I work with energy, how I do my magic, how I live my life, how I'm healing and growing as a person. Um, Now, on the other hand, sometimes and I will admit I like to do this. I've been doing this since about 1991, so it's just old habits die hard, and this one's probably not going to. I will learn about things to dispel toxic, harmful bullshit that's out there, and there's a lot of it. I lurk through the wellness community a lot, just to pick out the little nuggets of wow, this is some toxic BS. When we talk about toxic positivity, or just like the stuff, you hear people say like, "Oh, you got cancer because your daddy didn't love you," or just crap, or blaming a lot of that stuff on, "Oh, it was your soul contract for you to never have children," or it was a lot of that kind of stuff. When it tips, like, okay, there's probably some credence, but then when it kind of starts to tip into being harmful, like, I do believe in, I'll use this sort of the Western medicine versus natural medicine thing. So I believe in complementary alternative medicine, whether you're looking at aromatherapy, herbalism, doing anything of, the self-care witchy variety. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Am I gonna stop taking my pain medication and autoimmune medications and smear some essential oils on me? No. I will enhance those things with essential oils, but I'm not going to rely on it because I did try that. And let me tell you, there is no combination of essential oils in existence that will make me fall asleep. I have no ability to fall asleep. So I have to take something to fall asleep. Now, that may be, taking a prescription medication, that may be taking other things to help me sleep, melatonin. There's any number of over the counter prescription uh sleep aids and stuff like that. But no, there's not a tea that's going to help me sleep. There's not a an essential oil combination that's going to help me sleep. I'll smell good, but I'm not going to fall asleep. Because even sometimes when I take things like, I'll take 2 Tylenol PMs and still be wide a freaking awake. Although I had some coffee yesterday and took an awesome nap. Because neurodivergence kind of like throws everything up into chaos mode. Everything does exact opposite stuff. So, yeah. So I know I've talked about this in other videos. I have one that I think it was like Tales of an Occult Nerd or something, where I go over in depth a lot of the specific classes and things that I've taken. But I really want to dispel this toxic commentary on questioning, someone as an advanced practitioner if they're still taking courses. Take courses until the day you die. Read until the day you die. Like, learn and keep learning. Just because you found one system of magic or whatever that works for you and you're advanced in that, your education doesn't stop there. Does someone get a PhD and then never pick up a book or learn it or read anything again or take another class or whatever? Sure, they may be teaching, but I worked in academia. It's required to have continue CEUs, continuing education units, um for a lot of people, and even in workplace, um in various career paths, that you have to constantly be learning things because new modalities come out, whether it's something on the technical side, you're keeping up with technology. So maybe everything there is to know about your magical system. Do you know how to market your business? Do you know how to make a website? Do you know how to do product photography? So you might have to take some ancillary courses to learn these things, and that's okay. And don't let anyone shame you for always keep learning and incorporating new things into your practice, because that is very small-minded and egoistic of them to look down their nose at you because you're continuing to learn. um I've got nothing on that. And to other occult practitioners who like don't read anything by other authors, I just find that a little make it make sense to me. Like, I get that you don't want their stuff to taint your work per se or influence it, but at the same time, you might be reinventing the wheel without knowing it. Because can't tell you how many times I've had a great idea for something, but like, damn it, S. Conley already wrote a book on it, and I love her dearly. So, but it's just some of those things where like we think we're coming up with a completely original idea, and then there's 20 books written on it already. Um, so but you can incorporate that because I can look at like the work that S. Conley has done, and then how I've incorporated it and interpreted it into my own practice and my own ethos and philosophy, and I've built on it from there. Like I was talking to her about the video I did recently on creating your own demonic ends to or your own ends to work with different aspects of yourself for healing, like your higher self or your shadow self, things like that. And, that was taking something that was, comes from a different, that was created by someone else and brought to us and then building off of that. So it just makes for a much more enriching experience. So, yeah, you never be too educated. You can be undereducated and uneducated and just sometimes dumb. Um, I can't mince words on that. I just like learning things is very important to me, and I just don't understand why people wouldn't want to keep learning. I'll learn about things I'm not even all that interested in sometimes, or just to have a better understanding of things. Like, I said I was revisiting this book I read 30 years ago. Maybe this influenced me a lot more than I realized. I have significant PTSD related memory loss. A lot of it wiped out stuff from this time era in my life. Like, I go back through old journals and writings. I didn't know I was working with the Egyptian pantheons or Mesopotamian ones. I didn't know I knew who the Morgan was. I didn't know these spirits like Lucifer and Abaddon had been coming to me since I was in high school, or even Lilith. It's always keep learning. Just anything you can do. Watch a video, like anything you can to just keep enriching your life because it's just going to make things so much better. And I'm going to end on that note because I could ramble on about this forever. Because I also do have I just want to add one last caveat excuse me here, is I do have a background in academia. My a Bachelor of Fine Arts is in art history, so I know how to do academic research. And it's not just looking up Wikipedia or now in these days GPT some bullshit thing. No, I know how to do academic research. And I worked in academia up until I literally started doing this full time in 2021. So from about 2005 or 6, 2006 to 2021, I worked in academia. So I'm pretty familiar with that area. So that's where my interest lies. So, and that's some of my background as well. And yeah. So anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. You know the spiel. Follow us on social media. Be sure to sign up for e-newsletter. So you always know what's going on. We always have new product drops and things like that going on. So thank you all for watching. Love you all.